If you've been watching the news at all lately in the US, you see that things are getting crazier and crazier every single day. And I don't just mean what's happened the last couple weeks if you're watching this in September of 2025, or perhaps even the last 6, 12, 18 months of chaos that's been ensuing in the United States. Things are getting quite bad. Ever since a lot of these things started happening, as long as 18 months ago, we've been getting more and more requests every single day from Americans looking to move to Mexico in 2025. So in this video, we're going to talk about the top 7 reasons that they give for wanting to move to Mexico this year. Now, if you're interested in moving abroad, if you're interested in international lifestyle, international tax planning, wealth building, real estate purchases, perhaps having a Plan B passport, you definitely want to hit that subscribe button and click the notification bell, because we're coming out with multiple videos and podcast episodes every single week talking about these topics. I'm also going to ask that you give this video a like if you enjoy it, because it helps us with our mission of inspiring 1 million entrepreneur expats and aspiring expats with this content. And if you're like, you know what, Justin, this is the year that we move to Mexico. I want to make it happen. How can we make this happen now? Just go to entrepreneurexpat.com/consult and you can apply for a free consult. Or if you're not quite there yet, you can just download our free Moving to Mexico guide below this video. So now let's dive into the top 7 reasons that Americans are giving for wanting to move to Mexico in 2025. Number 1, and I alluded a little bit to this earlier, is the ongoing political tension in the US. Between the heated political climate there, political assassinations, division instilled, people being pushed farther and farther towards the left, farther and farther towards the right, and really just this overall division that the powers that be are sowing amongst the masses. Things are getting really crazy. If you're like, no matter what happens, I'm on the left, I'm with the Democrats, or I'm on the right, I'm with the Republicans, well, number one, you probably wouldn't be watching this channel. This channel is really for people that are like, you know what, fuck all y'all, because none of what's happening on either side really makes a ton of sense, and it kind of makes you wonder who's really pulling the strings here. This is for free thinkers. This is for people who realize that they're kind of trapped in the matrix, or at least that they were trapped in the matrix and they're looking to really escape it fully. So that's what we help people do when we get them second passports and second residencies in other countries. But when you look at the numbers, and we've done other videos on this about the safety of Mexico and things like that, statistically it's now safer in a lot of the regions that expats live in Mexico versus many of the major cities in the US. So it's not just the political tension itself and the threat of violence, it's the actual violence and the safety numbers. But I don't know about you, for me personally, I want to go out and take a walk down the street, not just with the feeling that, hey, I'm not going to get mugged or something in New York or anywhere in LA, in Venice, in Santa Monica. So many places that used to be really nice are now so dangerous in the US. But I also want to be able to express my feelings, my political views, my outlook on things without fear of political persecution. And the irony of this is that so many people attribute Latin America to, people getting assassinated because of their political beliefs, and it's happening right now in the US. I don't care which side of the aisle you're on. I don't care what you think specifically about certain people that has happened to. I will stand up right now and say, like, it is not okay, right? It's one thing to say, you know what, this person might be saying things that are not true, that are offending a certain group of people, that are maybe bigoted. And I'm not saying that any of those things weren't said. Again, we're talking about not just one person, by the way, but many instances of this now happening in the US. But it's an entirely different thing to say, hey, without due process, we should be executing people in public. And that's, like I said, an idea that people previously associated more than anything with like these so-called third world countries. And now all of those things that we thought about, let's say Mexico or Colombia, who ironically are all becoming safer and safer, are now happening in the US. And it saddens me to see that, because I was born in the US. I was born and raised in California. I lived there for over 2 decades. but it's something that when we're being realistic, we're like, how much more of this can we take? And so that's one of the reasons a lot of people who have reached out to us for one-on-one help and even coaching and other support from our channel have been telling us. Now, number two is cost of living. So you can save 50 to 80% or more just by moving to another country. So as an example, a family of four in the Lake Chapala area that's near Guadalajara, Mexico, or even in the city of Guadalajara can live pretty comfortably for about $3,000 US per month. Here, my wife and I, it's just us, and we have two pets. We've got a dog and a cat. We spend even less than that. So I was including maybe two children in that estimate because it's actually probably going to be closer to 2,500, 2,600. But for just the two of us and our pets, like total personal expenses, we're looking at like maybe $2,000 per month. That includes rent. That includes personal care, getting our nails done, our hair done. Sometimes they even come here and do those sorts of things. Massages at home every 2 weeks. All of our groceries. We have a cleaning lady that comes twice a week. For the type of lifestyle that we have here, if we were living, let's say, in San Francisco or LA or even Miami, we'd be spending well over $10,000 a month down the drain, not just making 10K, but we would be easily spending 10K a month every single month on rent alone in major cities. Now you're talking $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a month. Any sort of maid or housekeeper or anything like that, that's easily another $1,000 a month depending on what they do. But if they're coming multiple times a week for an entire day, you're talking thousands of dollars for these sorts of things. And groceries too. I mean, every time I go to California, we can't walk out of Ralph's without spending at least $100 just for snacks. Or if you're actually shopping for all of your meals, I mean, $500, $600, $800 a month per person. In a lot of cases, it's just gotten out of hand. And we spend maybe $300 a month for the two of us on groceries. You can increase that a little bit if you've got a couple kiddos as well. But that number that I gave you, the 2,000 or so for a couple and about 3,000, that's including all of our pet care and foods for them. And they eat well. Like they're not eating cheap croquetas, as we call them, or like dried dog food. Like they're eating organic, raw meat, like natural diet, all that kind of stuff. So you can live very, very well for a family of four for $3,000 a month or less, in pretty close to U.S. standards as well. So it just kind of raises the question of why would you keep living somewhere that's expensive and the quality of life, which we'll get into in a minute, is just getting worse and worse, right? Why not live somewhere that is affordable, that's safe, and that also saves you a ton of money so you can invest that back into your business or you can save that and grow your nest egg. Now, number three is all of the investment opportunity that is here in Mexico. So we are personally earning, and by the way, this is not financial advice, disclaimer, consult your financial professional. We're not giving any sort of financial or legal or investment advice here, but personally are earning upwards of 10 to 15% per year interest from banks, fintechs, and peer-to-peer lending systems, among others. We also have connections with people that run different trading firms here in Mexico. And is it safe? Like, are these safe investments? I mean, it's all relative, right? Mexico is a lot less regulated than the US, but I would say that that's a good thing in many ways because here the capital markets are a lot tighter. Here the rate of interest for credit cards is significantly higher, but that also means that the yields on your investments are going to be higher, and none of those investments are accessible unless you have a Mexican ID card. So that's like a Mexican residence card, or later on you can get a Mexican passport for sure, but at the very least, you have to have some type of legal residence here in Mexico to have access to those investments. And we have people that are getting their residence just to be able to invest in Mexico and other places in Latin America because of the amazing opportunity, really, compared to more developed markets to be able to get yields on those investments. And that's not even getting into real estate because that's a whole other ball game. Obviously, there's real estate that is more of a steady like growth sort of thing. There's real estate that's a lot more speculative, but there are deals to be had in real estate where your yields are also going to be significantly higher than a lot of other countries. And contrary to perhaps popular belief, especially in the US, there are a lot of laws here protecting real estate ownership for locals and foreigners alike. So you can not only make your money stretch farther and go farther, but have a ton of opportunity to earn upwards of 10% per year, in some cases as high as 15, 20, 25 with some of the things that we've been seeing. The number 4 reason that people are moving from America to Mexico is the higher quality of life here versus in the US. So you can walk everywhere in a lot of places in Mexico, including Guadalajara, where we lived for about 3 years. People generally tend to be just more open, more receptive, more friendly. There's a lot more nature. There's a lot more just to do, to explore. I would also kind of lump this into higher quality of life, is you have a lot more sort of soft freedoms as well. So you can, you're not harassed as much for just, let's say you're walking your dog without a leash and she's well trained, right? You're not going to get a $300 ticket for that on the sidewalk. I've never heard of that happening, or for jaywalking, or for just like silly things. The government's not constantly surveilling you and breathing down your throat. There's a lot more soft freedoms, and the people are just kinder and friendlier overall, is what everybody has been telling us. Now, number 5 is the great food quality here. So a lot of the food, especially where we're at in the Lake Chapala area and even in places like Guadalajara, they'll bring the food in the same day or within a day from fresh local farms. It's very fresh food. There aren't as many chemicals that are being put into the food. And so the experience that you have eating here, I mean, it's easy to lose weight because you don't have all these preservatives, all these chemicals in the food. Not everything is just like packaged, processed sugar. You can find local vendors on the street selling like organic or natural sorts of desserts everywhere. You can even buy your pitaya, your dragon fruit, or other fruits like on these roadside stands, just kind of coming into town. It's just great, and it's all from local farms, 15 minutes away in a lot of areas like where we live here in Chapala, versus in the US, so much of the food, even though we have some of the best land for growing things, so much of the food in the US is brought in from other countries thousands of miles away. I don't understand why. A lot of it is, just convenience and money related, but the food in Mexico tends to be significantly fresher. And by the way, a lot cheaper. You're talking like 30, 40, 50% cheaper in many cases or more. Number 6, great healthcare. So the healthcare here in Mexico is on par with the US, especially the private healthcare system, and private insurance is very affordable. Amanda and myself, we're in our 30s. We spend less than $100 per month each on healthcare, with lower deductibles, better access to doctors, better network, better everything than in the US. Those are for plans with less than $1,000 US deductible, and it covers pretty much everything up to millions of dollars of coverage. Even though Mexico is the second most expensive healthcare system in North America after the US, it's still significantly cheaper than the US. I do recommend you still have insurance when you're down here, but for routine or minor emergency care, let's say you have an ear infection, or you need some stitches, or you need to get some blood work done, most of those things can be done at like a local facility, including the doctors right next to many, many pharmacies that are in town. And usually you're less than $50 out of pocket for that. And that's without insurance. That's not like your copay. That's like you go into the doctor, God forbid you need a few stitches in your finger or something, you cut your finger open. You're in and out of that pharmacy for maybe $20 or $25 US for that entire visit. Versus that same sort of thing at urgent care, you're probably going to be out $400, $500, $600, $700 for a 15-minute visit. Oh, and by the way, the doctors here usually will see you within about 5 or 10 minutes of you coming into the waiting room. In the US, in urgent care or emergency rooms or even doctor's offices, you're there waiting for hours for that doctor to see you for maybe 5 minutes, because they've got to churn through 5, 6, 7 patients every single hour, and they're not really giving you good care. They're just a shill for big pharma, and they're saying, okay, great, go take these pills. I'll see you again in 6 months. Like, that's not healthcare at all. And don't even get me started on big pharma and medical and all that. That's a separate channel. That's a whole deeper whole other can of worms. I'm not going to get too far into that, but for those of you that know, right? Here, you go to a doctor's office. Let's say you see a specialist, and it's $50 or $60 out of pocket, even without insurance. they might spend 30, 40, 50 minutes or more with you just to make sure you're properly oriented. They've done like a full analysis of what's going on. They talk you through what might be happening. It's much more comprehensive, personable care. And in most places in Mexico, those doctors will even give you their personal WhatsApp number. So if you've got an emergency, you've got a question later, a follow-up thing, you don't have to wait 5 or 6 weeks or more just to be able to go in there. You just ask them a quick question over WhatsApp. They respond within a few hours. It's great. I mean, I've never seen anything like this in the US unless you're like ultra rich and you're paying $5,000, $10,000 a month for like a private one-on-one doctor concierge. But you can get those things nearly free in Mexico because the systems just operate differently. Number 7, and this one is kind of really close to my heart, is we have amazing infrastructure here in Mexico, especially for those that are younger, remote workers, digital nomads, and things like that. So here in our house in the Lake Chapala area, even though we live up on a mountain and we're kind of, not in the middle of town or a city or anything like that, we're a little out there because we like our view of the lake and we like kind of having land and just nature around us. We have internet that's almost a gigabit up and down, like similar to what you would have in Austin or in San Francisco, where you've got Google Fiber or something like that. This is fiber optic internet. It's super fast. It costs us about $50 per month, and it goes out less frequently than our Comcast did in places in the US, ironically, right? We've never had issues with video calls, and to be extra safe, we've got a very affordable cellular internet backup as well. That is about $15 per month. So all in, it's still less than $100 for phenomenal internet, plus a second internet that we can use if it goes down occasionally, like for a couple hours every single month. If we're on a call, our system automatically switches over. It's amazing. I'm sort of the tech wizard here, so I engineered it. That was fun. But yeah, I mean, everything you need in terms of infrastructure. If you're in a larger city, you can even find co-working with amazing internet like a WeWork or similar, maybe regional co-working as well. So they've got like the big WeWorks and they've got the little smaller kind of mom and pop co-works that maybe have 15 or 20 or 30 different people there. And typically they have pretty solid internet there as well. So you're never going to be lacking infrastructure. It's modern. A lot of the infrastructure here was never even, especially in newer towns, they never even had the old legacy phone systems. They just went straight to cellular and then to fiber optic. So they're new systems. They're very reliable. I love it. So anybody that says, oh, like, how's the internet in Mexico? It's not going to work. You're not going to be able to do your video calls there. It's total bullshit. The infrastructure is great here. So if you're looking to relocate to Mexico and you want a little bit more information, you can just download our Moving to Mexico guide below this video or go to entrepreneurexpat.com/Mexico. We also have a relocation roadmap ebook available for sale. I can't promise that it'll be at this price for long, but currently it's only $27. So if you want to buy that, we're going to pop that link up on the screen as well, and you can purchase that relocation roadmap ebook that's going to cover all of the things that you need to know and you need to consider when you're picking countries, when you're thinking about your timeline, when you're looking at the basics of generating remote income. You can buy that now on our website. We're going to include a link to it right here, and you can read that. We'd love to hear your feedback as well. As always, make sure to like and subscribe. Don't miss any of the amazing content that we have coming out on this channel because we want to help you on your expat journey. We hope to see you again on the next video, and thanks again for being a part of this community.